Go back to part 2 on Psalm 35. Saul's relentless pursuit of David was unjust and based on jealousy rather than facts. David had done nothing to challenge Saul's position as king of Israel. I mean, he always behaved wisely and humbly served Israel's king with the bold confidence produced by innocence. David asked God to execute perfect justice upon Saul and his men. In verse 4, David's prayer for God to judge his enemies was emotional, harsh, and pointed. Saul and his men sought David's life. Therefore, he prayed for God to act in pure justice and without mercy towards them. He asked the Lord to do to them exactly what they were doing to him. Saul had brought great shame upon David, making false accusations and causing him to flee Israel like a criminal on the run. Now, David prayed that Israel's unstable king and his men would be disgraced and that they would suffer the shame that he had been forced to bear. And additionally, David asked God to thwart their efforts and drive them back, bringing further dismay or humiliation upon them. In verse 5, David called for the angel of the Lord to chase Saul and his men in the same fashion that they unjustly pursued him. Now, the angel of the Lord is God's very special messenger. God sent him to protect and lead Israel, promising that he would fight against their enemies if they obeyed him. David, as he always does, vividly prayed that this special messenger would forcefully drive away Saul's soldiers like the wind scatters the weightless wheat chaff. Now, in verse 6, he further prayed that the angel of the Lord would chase them down a dark and slippery path where they could not see their way and would helplessly fall before him. The angel of the Lord is mentioned only twice in the book of Psalms. Here in Psalm 35 and in Psalm 34, verse 7, which we know was written during Saul's pursuit of David. Now, verse 7, David prayed without reservation for his life's for his enemies' destruction because they were seeking to destroy him without cause. All right, he had done no wrong towards Saul, yet the jealous king sought his life. Therefore, David prayed that Saul and his army would reap exactly what they had sown, thereby receiving perfect retribution. David, he compared himself to a hunted bird or animal, and Saul and his men to cunning hunters. I mean, they stalked their prey, being David, by spreading disguised nets and digging veiled pits. Verse 8, David asked God to serve poetic justice upon them by allowing them to unknowingly fall into the very traps that they had spread for him. Well, brothers and sisters, God loves justice. And because we are made in the image of God, we also have a strong desire to see perfect justice executed on earth. We want justice served upon those who do wrong against us and others. However, in any discussion of justice, we must remember that God has commanded us to leave vengeance to him. When criminal acts are involved, God has delegated the responsibility of executing justice to civil authorities, but he never gives us permission to avenge ourselves. Certainly, it is not wrong for us to pray for justice to be executed upon those who harm us, but Jesus taught us to pray for our persecutors and to love, bless, and do good to them. Paul conditioned us to do the same, adding that we should never return evil for evil. Jesus Christ demonstrated this from the cross when he prayed for God to forgive those who crucified him. When stoned for preaching the gospel, Stephen followed Jesus' example. And I get it, it's very difficult to pray for those who wrong us. And it's even harder to do good to them. But when we discipline ourselves to obey Christ's commands, even when we do not want to, God will change our hearts towards our enemies. He will enable us to forgive them and to truly desire what is best for them. And as a result, folks, he will bless us for obeying his command and being Christ-like in our attitude. As we exercise Christ's Spirit towards those who sin against us, we can rest assured that God will avenge us of the wrongs that they have committed against us.